Today, I'm putting NFL players into their prime. Aaron Rodgers back to being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Von Miller back to being one of the best pass rushers in the NFL with the Denver Broncos. And even a player who's not even on an NFL team right now, and Julio Jones is back in his prime with the Atlanta Falcons. So as long as they're in Madden 25, they were able to go back into their prime. And in this video, I'm going to be simulating a full NFL season to see which one of these prime rosters can win the Super Bowl. But first, let's take a more in-depth look at some of the teams. You have the Bears getting a prime Khalil Mack and Allen Robinson back. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to add Joe Mixon back to their team. A loaded Bills roster is going to add guys like Stephon Diggs, Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, and Jordan Poyer. For the Broncos, they get to bring back a Super Bowl MVP, prime Von Miller. For the Browns and Buccaneers, not much changes. However, for the Arizona Cardinals, a prime Patrick Peterson, Chandler Jones, and Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu return. The Chargers are bringing back guys like Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler in their prime. The back-to-back champion Kansas City Chiefs get a prime Justin Houston and a prime Kareem Hunt. The Commanders get a returning prime Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and if they want to use him, Kirk Cousins. The Cowboys got some huge upgrades with a returning Tyron Smith and Ezekiel Elliott, as well as Amari Cooper. The Dolphins get back a prime Xavier Howard, with the Philadelphia Eagles getting a prime Zach Ertz, Hassan Reddick, and Carson Wentz and Brandon Graham back. The Falcons, like I mentioned already, headlined by a prime Julio Jones returning. The 49ers roster pretty much going to stay the same, but for the New York Giants, we're bringing back Odell, Saquon, and JPP in their prime. The Jaguars big upgrades with a prime returning Jalen Ramsey, Calais Campbell, and Leonard Fournette. The Jets get a prime Jamal Adams. The Lions are actually getting back Matthew Stafford and Darius Slay. The Packers are headlined by Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams coming from the Jets to the Packers. Panthers roster gets a prime Brian Burns returning, where the Patriots are going to get Stephon Gilmore, Matthew Judon, J.C. Jackson, all in their primes, as well as Kyle Van Noy. The Raiders bring back Josh Jacobs and Derek Carr, where the Rams are bringing back Jared Goff and Brandon Cooks. The Ravens roster pretty much stays the same, but the Saints are going to be a force to be reckoned with a prime Michael Thomas, Jimmy Graham, and Cameron Jordan. Seattle going to be a big contender as well, a returning prime Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson. The Steelers get a prime Juju and James Conner returning. For the Texans, it's prime D-Hop returning. The Titans get a prime returning King Henry and Kevin Byard. And the Vikings get a prime Harrison Smith, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, and Danielle Hunter. So comment down below who's winning the Super Bowl. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm jumping into 2 games to start the season in week 1 to see how these rosters shake up. And you're going to see already, it's not Jalen Hurts that is quarterbacking these Philadelphia Eagles. Instead, decided to go with a prime almost MVP if he finished the whole season, Carson Wentz, who's on the team, and he hits Devontae Smith. I did also download this custom roster, so I'll put it all on the screen for you for those who want to download on PS5. So I didn't make the decision on where to put these players. So you have somebody still on the team like A.J. Brown. Personally, I probably would have put him on the Titans, but he's had a great 2 years in Philadelphia. So when it's all said and done, maybe his prime will be with the Philadelphia Eagles. But you have a guy like Zach Ertz who returns in his prime. Him and Carson Wentz were great together. Devontae Smith inside the 10. It is cool to see this Eagles roster in their prime, but I'm more excited for the Packers with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. They're not doing great with the Jets. Back in their prime, though, with the Packers. Can they finally win a Super Bowl? You got Miles Sanders in the backfield for the Eagles. So a lot of players changed from this Eagles team. Carson Wentz, Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz. Can they score a touchdown, or are they being held to 3? We're going to do 1 drive with them on offense, and then we're going to go to the Packers offense as Carson Wentz is going to go down. Also, for the Packers here, you got a returning Aaron Jones. David Bakhtiari goes to his prime. You have a prime Randall Cobb on this team. The Packers are a serious contender, as that one's going to be caught by Devontae Adams. I guess some of the jersey numbers are a bit messed up here with players changing teams. So it looks like Devontae Adams is going to be wearing the number 81 for this prime simulation. But 100% the Packers going to be one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. And it's Rodgers to Adams. They can't do this with the Jets, but they definitely can do it with the Packers in their prime. 3rd and 16, though. Let's see what Rodgers can do. He's got a prime Cobb, a prime Jones, and a prime Devontae Adams. Going for the screen, Aaron Jones, and that's going to be complete for 4th down. And the prime Philadelphia Eagles get a win in the first game of the season against the prime Packers with a score of 12-7. As a Giants fan, I want to see what a prime Giants offense would look like. We're putting Barkley back on this team. You have Odell Beckham Jr. back on this team, but sadly, Daniel Jones is still throwing them the ball. Funny enough, the day I'm recording this video is the day that Daniel Jones will be replaced for the entire year with Tommy DeVito. So, did Daniel Jones even have a prime? Maybe that 6-game stretch that got us into the playoffs a couple of years ago? Maybe if we get that Daniel Jones, we can make some noise in the NFL? I have no idea. That one's going to be caught. That's a prime Darius Slayton. These jersey numbers, though, are fooling me a little bit. Barkley wearing 25 instead of 26. I don't think Odell's wearing 13. So that's the only negative about this custom roster that I downloaded. And there's too many players in the NFL to change all the jersey numbers. I will just call it out. When he catches it, I'll be able to tell. And that's going to be Barkley, who's basically been all over this drive. Odell's wearing number 88, so he's at the bottom of the screen. Let's see if Daniel Jones looks for him on a 3rd and 10. Prime OBJ does not get the call. Instead, it's 4th and 7. Looks like they'll get some points. And a prime Washington Commanders team destroys a prime Giants team as the Commanders win it in week 2. And now it's time to simulate to the playoffs. And here's a look at the prime playoff bracket. The Buffalo Bills were the number 1 seed in the AFC with the Colts as the 2, Chiefs as the 3, Bengals as the 4, Jags, Dolphins, and Ravens are your wild card teams. The Cowboys in their prime in Madden are going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. Packers with Rodgers and Adams, they're the 2 seed. You have the Eagles, 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals, and Buccaneers making the playoffs. With a prime roster, it's a guy that's currently in his prime, Joe Burrow, leading the league in passing yards with 4,781 yards, 52 touchdowns, and 8 picks. A prime Ezekiel Elliott, though, will lead the league in rushing with 1,489 yards and 20 touchdowns for the Cowboys. And a prime Devontae Adams back on the Packers with 1,600 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns. And leading the league in sacks, Von Miller with 28 returning to the Denver Broncos. And I'm going to be jumping in live to 1 playoff game per round. And here come the Jacksonville Jaguars with prime Saxonville. And Joe Burrow, league MVP this year, trying to defend home field. I had to check out league MVP Joe Burrow with this prime Bengals offense taking on the prime Jaguars defense with guys like Jalen Ramsey and Calais Campbell returning. You got Joe Mixon back for the Cincinnati Bengals. And Joe Burrow, JAMARR Chase, T. Higgins, those guys are currently in their prime, so not much changes with them. We're going to see if this Jaguars defense is as good as it was back in like 2017. Joe Burrow, 3rd and 3. Is Jalen Ramsey going to make a play? He will not, as that one's going to be caught and brought for the first down. Also got Tyler Boyd on this team. Can't forget about him. He's in Tennessee right now, but he had a lot of good years with the Cincinnati Bengals. And that one's going to be caught by T. Bengals in the red zone. League MVP Joe Burrow trying to punch it in for 7. And he's going to his man. I believe that's going to be Joe Mixon. Even though he's not wearing 28, he's wearing 34 with the Bengals. These jersey numbers still confusing me a little bit. Takes some time to get used to. But Burrow going empty from the 10-yard line, 2nd and 2. Got a lot of options. You got Boyd, Chase, Higgins, Mixon. Where are you going to go, Joe? Going to go to Mixon again for a first. Down from the 6-yard line, Burrow to throw again. Joe Burrow hits a returning Tyler Boyd for the touchdown. And that Jaguars prime defense was nothing for league MVP Joe Burrow and the Bengals as they beat the Jaguars 42-21 in the wild card. And here's our playoff bracket for the divisional round. And for the divisional round, it's the Eagles traveling to Dallas to take on a prime Cowboys team. Eagles prime offense with Carson Wentz ended up getting a touchdown, but I wanted to see prime Cowboys offense with Ezekiel Elliott back at running back against this prime Eagles defense with guys like Brandon Graham and Hassan Reddick back in their primes. And CeeDee Lamb going to grab that ball for, I think, about 12 yards. And let's see if Zeke is a big difference for this Cowboys offense back at his prime. They desperately needed a running back this year. They got a prime Ezekiel Elliott right now, and Dak is going to take a sack. Let's see if they can get a first. They haven't even given the ball to Ezekiel Elliott for some reason, but Dak is going to run instead, and Dak Prescott is, oh my, I thought he was going to get leveled. You literally have the league's leading rusher, and don't give him the ball once on the first drive of the game of the divisional round. Make it make sense. Instead, it's going to be Dak trying to run. And Dak's going to go down 4th and 9. They're going to kick 3. We got a very good game, though, as it's 17-14. Cowboys in the lead as we're approaching the half. So Dak is going to give it to Zeke now, and Ezekiel Elliott. Give him the ball, and Zeke will eat back in Dallas, back in his prime, 2-possession lead. And from that point onwards, the Cowboys never looked back as they defeat the prime Philadelphia Eagles and Carson Wentz 45-21, and the Cowboys move on to the NFC Championship. And here are your championship games. And it's it's going to be a Week 11 rematch in the real NFL in the Prime AFC Championship, as it's the Bills at home taking on the Chiefs. So Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs make the trip to Buffalo once again for the AFC Championship game. And can the Chiefs get their revenge for their real loss in Week 11 of the NFL season this past week? We are about to find out, but you got Mahomes and Kelsey at 99 overalls already, so nothing really changes there. They do get Justin Houston on defense, so he'll go with Chris Jones as a high 90 overall. Kareem Hunt's at a 93 overall in his prime as Mahomes is sacked. You got Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer returning for the Bills defense, but the Chiefs have beaten those guys when they were with the Bills. And Mahomes on 3rd and 16 wants to run, but nowhere to go, and he's taken down. And for Josh Allen, he welcomes back Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, but maybe he doesn't even want Stephon Diggs back. But nonetheless, he's got him. We're going to find out if that makes an impact. I believe that's going to be Gabe Davis. Welcome back. The vibes seem really good with the Bills right now, but a prime Stephon Diggs, how do you pass up him coming back? As a high 90 overall X-Factor player. And the numbers that him and Allen put up for a number of years in Buffalo, Dalton Kincaid, he'll make a grab. See if Justin Houston or Chris Jones is going to wreck the game for the Chiefs defense. In motion, that's going to be Keon Coleman, and he's taken down. 4th down for the Bills. That's McDuffie. And since this is the AFC Championship, let's jump in live with a sim. And then if it gets close late in the game, we are jumping in, as this looks like a defensive battle. 7-6, Bills lead at the half. And now the Bills start off the half with a touchdown. Mahomes matches it right away. Now it's an offensive showcase, as the Bills can make it a 3-possession lead with a touchdown here. Let's jump in. Touchdown will make it a 3-possession game. It's 3rd and 1 for Josh. A field goal makes it a 12-point game. Josh Allen, he's running outside the pocket, and he will score the touchdown. And that might be the dagger. I actually did my math wrong. It's 27-12. This game is not over. I thought it was going to be 29-12. I don't know what I messed up there. Nonetheless, Mahomes is driving down the field in a 15-point game, needing 2 touchdowns, 1 2-point conversion. 2.5 minutes left. They have all 3 timeouts. Let's see if Mahomes can clutch up. This would be one of the greatest comebacks of all time. And Mahomes is sacked. 3rd and 19. They desperately need to get this touchdown, but right now they need to focus on a 1st down. Mahomes throws it towards the end zone. He would have had Xavier Worthy. It was just tipped incomplete. And now this is the game. You don't get this. It's a 2-touchdown game. Minute 47. Doesn't matter if you have 10 timeouts. You're not coming back. Mahomes needs 19 to keep the game alive. Mahomes is sacked. Ed Oliver ends this one. The Buffalo Bills have ended the Chiefs' curse in the playoffs. Their prime roster sends the back-to-back champions home, and the Bills will play for the Lombardi. And in the Super Bowl, it's the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen in the prime, and the prime roster taking on the prime roster of the Dallas Cowboys. And we start with the Cowboys on offense, and a prime Ezekiel Elliott that we saw a little bit in that playoff game against the Eagles led the league in rushing. Definitely made an impact for these Dallas Cowboys. Offensive line also better for the Cowboys as well. Prime Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. You got Tony Pollard back on this team as well. Dak Prescott in a 3rd and 5, and he's brought down. Pressure from the Bills has been great against the Chiefs, and now Dallas already. Let's see if Josh Allen could win his 1st ever Super Bowl with his prime roster. Josh Allen is also sacked. Looks like this could be a defensive Super Bowl. Both defenses did get better with their prime rosters. Can't forget about that. Just going to run it out of their own end zone, and that's going to be a 1-yard loss, I believe. Let's see what Dak has. Prime Zeke in the backfield. Dak Prescott. He's going to go. I'm honestly not sure who that is. We're going to find out in 1 second. That's a touchdown for the Cowboys, though. Who scored this touchdown? Cedric Wilson. So that should make it 17-7, which it does. And out of the half, the Bills get a touchdown. And try to slow this up. Let's see what happens with the Bills. They tie the game up with a field goal. So the Bills come back from 17-7 down. And it's anybody's Super Bowl right now. Cowboys, 3rd and 20, 4th and 18. I think they're going to take a lead with a field goal. Now it's money drive time for Josh. Super Bowl on the line, winning the video on the line. Who is going to get it? Will it be the Cowboys holding on to a 3-point lead? Will Josh Allen tie this game up, or will he take the lead? He's got 4 minutes to work with, trying to get 7, 2nd and 8. Josh Allen looking for Diggs. Who catches it for 4? With it being 3rd and 4, Josh Allen going to go empty. You don't get this. You do have to punt it to the Cowboys. Josh Allen has time. Gonna run. Josh Allen gonna use his legs. Oh, but he fumbles. The ball is up for grabs, and the Cowboys recover. That ball was out there for a while. Timeout's officially off the board. Will the Cowboys throw or will they run? Needing 4 to end this game. Zeke! He has it up the middle! Cowboys can go victory formation. And the Dallas Cowboys, for the first time in around 30 years, are your Super Bowl champions. All it took was a prime roster for them to get it done. And congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys who win the Super Bowl. That's going to do it for the video, everyone. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.